Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook, good morning, Daily Huddle, good morning to each and every one of you that has tuned in to the Daily Huddle this morning. My name is Vince Rountree. My co-partner is Rawlin Vanatta, and he had a technical glitch right in the middle of the joke.
Man, yes. Was it me? Oh man, I couldn't tell what happened. My Zoom just went away.
All we heard was your grandmother, and that was the last thing we heard was your grandmother.
All right, well, should I continue or should we just move on?
Go ahead and tell us about your grandmother.
So my grandmother, she loves to go to this little tiny grocery store, right? There's this little tiny grocery store, and they do a seniors day only. So the seniors day only is there. And so from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, only seniors can get in and they get discounts and all this kind of stuff. So we're in the parking lot, and I'm sitting in the parking lot because I can't go in, right? But she's in line because there's always like this line that like wraps around this small town restaurant because it's so good. So there's this line of old people lined up there. And I'm watching, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden there's this young guy, and this young guy starts like walking and is like start going like right between the line. I'm like, man, they're going to kick this guy out. And I'm telling you, he went straight to the front of the line, like he was going to go right in front of the first person. And all of a sudden this old woman took her cane and just started like swatting at him and like ran him all the way back to the parking lot. And then finally he was like, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, that's some crazy stuff. I should have like videotaped that. Then it wasn't long, and I just laughed, kind of looked back at my phone before.
That's the joke, Vince.
I guess it's not meant for him to tell that joke today.
We are clearly not supposed to hear his grandmama beating somebody up with a cane. Wow. You know, technical, this is like live television, right? This is live television. You don't know what you're going to get on live television. And when you combine that with Zoom, man, you don't know what you're going to get. Well, I guess my partner could save the joke for next week.
I'll save it to the end. We'll finish it at the end. Y'all go. Let's get started.
That I guarantee you'll go overtime.
No doubt. Okay, let's go.
Exactly. Well, before we get going, my question is, first of all, I got to say, welcome to my brother, Mike Harris, who I have not seen in a month of Sundays. It's good seeing you, my man. Love seeing you here on the Daily Huddle. And so I'll just start with you, Mr. Harris. How are you today, my brother? How are you?
I am as I say that I am, and I am happy.
Oh, I love it. You are as you say you are, which is the most important thing, and you are happy. You have made me happy just to see you on the Daily Huddle this morning, man. Next question goes to Stan the Man, and to Stan the Man, what time is it, my brother? Tell me, what time is it?
The time is now, Vince. The only time there is.
It's the only time you can have an impact on. The future hasn't gotten here yet. Don't worry yourself about what happened yesterday. You can make an impact on the now. Last but not least, Mr. Sorrell, where are you, Sorrell?
I'm right here.
Right here. Right here. That's what I'm talking about. The here, the now.
Watch this, Vince. Watch this. I'm still right here.
Got to go to another room, Sorrell.
And to my partner in crime, Rawlin Vanatta, what are you proud of, my friend? Uh-oh. He may not be.
You know, there's one good thing about this. He's frozen in the most attractive poses.
That's true. Come in frozen with his mouth all open, looking crazy.
That's the way that I would get frozen, but he's got some magical powers going on. It's horrible when your Zoom and your internet go in and out, man, because and nothing you can do about it.
Right.
You just feel like crap. Nothing you can do about it, and you don't know it. You still talking,
Right.
but nobody sees and nobody knows. All right. So today's talk will be, and maybe at some point my partner will join me, or maybe his sister. But today's talk is around how you can make your gut a better pain blocker than ibuprofen. How you can make your gut a better pain blocker than ibuprofen. You know, when we have pain, nobody wants pain, obviously. And the first thing that we typically do when we have pain is, what do I have? Do I have aspirin? Do I have ibuprofen? Do I have, what do I have? Aleve or whatever? And you're looking in the cabinet. And that's the right thing to do, right? I mean, I totally get that. And when that is an acute pain, so acute and chronic, right? Chronic is long-term over time. Acute is from like a one-time, if you sprain your ankle or if you got a headache that kind of comes and goes. That's one thing. But chronic pain is something else, all right? Chronic pain is, your back is always hurting. Chronic pain, your knees are killing you. You wake up in the morning and your knees hurt, or by the middle of the day, end of the day, your knees hurt, and you every day need to reach for something to help you with that pain. And it's constant. It's predictable. That is not the same thing as an injury, a one-time acute injury. The one-time acute injury, I get it. But if you have pain in your joints, if you have pain in your back, if you have pain in your body, and it's constant, then that is an indication of something else that's going on. And one of the things that you can do is change the way you eat in a manner that can lower inflammation. What is inflammation? Inflammation is the body's response to an injury. And if that is an acute one-time injury, that's really the way it's supposed to happen. You sprain your ankle, it swells up. That's acute inflammation. Here's the thing that you may or may not know, is that when you eat highly inflammatory foods, meaning foods that are loaded with preservatives, foods that are loaded with emulsifiers, foods that are loaded with preservatives, foods that are loaded with colors and dyes, what we call ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed foods are loaded with various chemicals so that it can stay on the shelf for long periods of time, and it can look a certain way, it can feel a certain way in your mouth, it can have a certain kind of texture, it has a certain kind of color, and chemicals are used to get that food to stay that way. That's not what your body was designed to eat. And it absolutely is not what your body is designed to eat day after day after day after day. And when you eat those foods, what you may not realize is your chronic level of inflammation has gone up. You don't know it. Until you do a blood test. One of the most common tests for inflammatory markers is the CRP test. It's a blood test you can get. C-reactive protein test. What is your C-reactive protein levels? What's your CRP levels? And when you are eating highly inflammatory foods that I described, and animal foods are also pro-inflammatory. When you are eating those foods, your level of chronic inflammation goes up. And here's what is so important about that. That contributes to long-term pain. That contributes to that chronic back hurting all the time. That chronic knees are killing you day in and day out. Even certain types of ailments, autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis, directly related to chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation directly leads to the health of your gut. The gut microbiome is one of the most important parts of your body in terms of overall level of health, because it is very adaptable. When I say very adaptable, what I mean is that the foods that you eat, you can eat foods for just a week, and the entire makeup of your microbiome in your gut can change. And as that changes, your health changes. It starts literally the first full day that you start eating plant-based, and it continues to change as you continue to eat this way. Now, when you eat plant-based foods, you allow your microbiome to make short-chain fatty acids, and short-chain fatty acids are literally the world's best anti-inflammatory and healers of the body. It is an ibuprofen that's better than ibuprofen, and you can't buy it. But when you eat plant-based, that allows you to grow the right microbiome that can then produce short-chain fatty acids. You can't buy it, but you can grow it. Because when you eat foods with high fiber, meaning eating a wide variety of plant-based foods, eating beans, lentils, split peas, chickpeas, potatoes, corn, brown rice, oatmeal. When you're eating those foods that are high in fiber, you see, fiber is not absorbed in the stomach. It's not absorbed in the duodenum. It's not absorbed in the small intestines. Fiber makes it all the way to the large intestines. And that's where 70% of your microbiome lives. And the microbiome that makes those short-chain fatty acids, that microbiome needs fiber in order to live. So when you eat a wide variety of beans, lentils, split peas, chickpeas, potatoes, brown rice, oatmeal, fruits, vegetables, when you eat a wide variety of plant-based foods, you're eating a wide variety of different types of fibers, and you're feeding the different types of microbiome that can then make short-chain fatty acids and give you access to the world's best pain healer. We have had people in our coaching program that had knee pain that was so bad, 10 out of 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, she said, a 10. I can't walk. I can't walk. And 4 to 5 weeks later, she is walking with no pain. We had a lady a few weeks ago that she said on a regular basis, every day, she had to take a bunch of ibuprofen every day. And she told us the first day, she said, I forgot to take it yesterday and I'm not in pain. I can't believe it. And the next week she's like, I'm not taking it anymore. I don't understand. And the explanation is that when you eat unprocessed plant-based foods, it changes the composition of your gut bacteria. And when that changes. It allows your body to make short chain fatty acids, and it is those short chain fatty acids that can make or the short chain fatty acids that then heal the body. You see me fooling around here because I'm trying to do a screen share because I want to share with you an incredible study. And this is a longer part of a longer presentation, but I'm just going to give you a few minutes of it. But this study really shows how adaptable and how quickly the microbiome changes. Okay, did I share the right screen? Are you guys, do you see the full screen of fat, fiber, and cancer risk? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, this is really a remarkable study where they looked at the diets of African Americans from Pittsburgh and Africans in South Africa. Okay. What they did in this study is they took a look at 20 healthy Africans or 20 healthy Blacks from Pittsburgh and then from South Africa. And by the way, what they were looking at here is the risk rates of colorectal cancer. Now, I know we're talking about pain, but I want to show this because it shows what can happen to the microbiome for colorectal cancer and how that can change. And the same way it changes for that, it changes for producing these short chain fatty acids that can reduce pain. Okay, first of all, what they noticed in the Blacks from Pittsburgh is there was a high rate of colorectal cancer parameters or precursors before the test even started, right? But for Blacks in Pittsburgh, 1 out of 15 had colorectal cancer. In the Blacks in South Africa, colorectal cancer just was just non-existent. And here are the various biomarkers for the microbiome for the Africans. Here were the biomarkers for the microbiome in Africa. Basically, their risk profile, the Africans, the risk profile for colorectal cancer was none. The risk factors for colorectal cancer for the Blacks in Pittsburgh through the roof. 9 out of 20 had adenomas before they even started. Before they even started the test. Okay, so let's look at what were the Americans eating and what were the Africans eating. The Americans were eating sausage and pancakes, spaghetti, meatballs, hot dogs and beans, roast beef, and mashed potatoes. The Africans were eating spinach, red peppers, onions, corn fritters, mango slices, kale, and African potato salad. In other words, plant-based standard American diet. Okay, plant-based standard American diet. Then they did a food swap. And in the food swap, they said, okay, we now want the Americans to eat the spinach, the red peppers, the onions, the mango slices, and have the Africans eat sausage, pancakes, spaghetti, meatball. So they did a food swap. And first of all, we want you to take a look at this plant-based diet. Look at the fiber content, 55 grams of fiber a day compared to 12. Low fat, when you're eating a plant-based diet, you're getting some fat, but not nearly as much. 52% of these calories are coming from fat. Eating the standard American diet is 52% of the calories coming from fat. The plant-based diet, it's 16. Protein is 14%. By the way, we eat way too much protein, standard American diet, way too much. And look at the carbs. Yes, it is a high carb diet. A plant-based diet is a high carb diet, but it is unprocessed carbs. Okay, in 14 days, let's just look at all of these green and then look right to what happened to the American. the profile for colorectal cancer is now low. Just 14 days. And those poor Africans that were eating the standard American diet, now they've, it's kind of cruel, but it is 14 days, and then we let them go back. But they measured their microbiome in 14 days, and they went from a low risk of colorectal cancer to a high risk of colorectal cancer. And that happened in just 14 days. Now, that's just a highlight of that study. I could go on, but I wanted to stop right there and see if there is any questions or comments. So again, that was an example of the microbiome totally changing, because that's exactly what they were measuring. And the point is, you can totally change your microbiome by eating unprocessed plant-based foods. You can completely change it. And while you are, what this example showed is you can lower your risk for colorectal cancer very, very quickly. And that is also giving you the right microbiome to then make short-chain fatty acids that can lower and sometimes completely eliminate chronic pain. Okay, Sorrel, what you got, my friend?
Oh man, this is amazing. This is amazing, Vince. Now, I love the way the gut reacts quickly, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm wondering, was there anything in the study that showed some of the African people sticking to the standard American diet because it's so addictive?
Yeah.
Is there anything like that? And then vice versa, was there any of the people from who were eating the standard American diet and got the benefit of the gut switching and stuck to it without external intervention?
The study didn't, the study was on the change of the microbiome and didn't really talk about what happened, afterwards. So I don't know what happened to either of the groups after the test was done.
Yeah, I'm speculating and really making a plug for what you guys are up to. I'm speculating that if anything happened, there's probably some person in Africa going, dang, man, I need a burger right now. Right? So speak to us a little bit about the addictive nature that keeps us eating what we ate, even though we know the gut reacts the way it does.
So here's the interesting thing. What you eat today has a dramatic impact on what you will like tomorrow. I'll say that again. What you eat today has a dramatic impact on what you're going to like tomorrow. Many people have experienced this firsthand in switching at some point. If you ever have made the switch from whole milk to skim milk, when you made that switch, oh, it's watered down. This is terrible. It's so watery. I hate this stuff. And then you drink it for, weeks and months and a year. And then you go and you get used to it. And then you go back and taste the whole milk. Oh, it's thick. It's nasty. I can taste it's thick. What you eat today impacts what you will like tomorrow. And I will add to that and say that when you eat plant-based, your cravings for that salt, sugar, fat go down. We have a lady that started with us in February, very overweight, and she said that she went to visit her mom, and her mom makes the most amazing red velvet cake ever, and that there's no way she could ever resist her mom's red velvet cake. And she said that she went home and she was like, I didn't feel the need to eat. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And that also is related to the microbiome. It's also related to the microbiome. Stan, talk to me, man.
No, I'm pretty sure everybody on here has already thought about it and probably even heard it before. But in case you've never really, in case there's anyone that didn't, did you ever pay attention to what the standard American diet is as an acronym?
Sad.
SAD. The standard American diet is known as the SAD diet. And I know pretty much everybody has probably thought about that, but it just stuck out in my mind.
And it really is a sad diet. You know, if you were trying to eat in a way that caused your body to have type 2 diabetes, the standard American diet is literally the best way to eat in order to get type 2 diabetes. If you were trying to feed a lab rat, if you wanted a lab rat to get type 2 diabetes for testing, just feed it the standard American diet. Why? High in saturated fat, high in highly refined carbohydrates, high in sugar, refined sugar, low in fiber. That is if you were trying to eat in a way to get type 2 diabetes, eat the SAD diet. It is literally the best thing that you can do because the saturated fat clogs up the muscle cells, and then the highly refined carbs is a boost of glucose in the bloodstream. It's like it's literally and the same thing for heart attack. If you wanted a heart attack, if you wanted a heart attack, eat the standard American diet. It's the number one cause of death in this country. And in countries where they eat plant-based, literally, they've never heard of heart disease. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Never heard of it. Okay. Well, I think I am showing, I'm showing 29 minutes after the hour. So I guess I need to go ahead and start my wrap up. And so I will say this. Am I on the spotlight, or is Stan the Man on the spotlight? I'm not sure, but I'm
You
looking
are
at
the
Stan.
spotlight. You are the spotlight.
Okay, great. Now I see. All right. So I want you to please remember this at all times, and really think about this for a second. You only have one body. In this lifetime, you've only got one body. If you don't take care of it, where are you going to live? You only have one body in this lifetime. So eat as though your life depends on it. Eat more fruits. Eat more vegetables. Eat more beans. Eat more brown rice. Eat as many plant-based foods as you can that's unprocessed. Eat as though your life depends on it, because it does. My name is Vince Rountree. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yo, man. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, family.